Hey guys, Super Nicktendo here, and welcome to part 2 of my cleaning guide. Now, if you haven't watched part 1, I highly suggest that you look at it. It has a really good basic starter kit of what you'll need, and also some basic techniques which I'll build upon in this particular video. So, for the advanced cleaning techniques, you'll need some simple green cleaning solution, a microfiber cloth, a brush, some toothpicks, some cotton swabs, and a heating gun. Now the heating gun you can find at Home Depot, or you can go and do what I did and find it at a pawn shop, because they have a lot of tools there that are secondhand and they're fairly inexpensive. So in this particular video, I'm going to go over cleaning controllers, cleaning consoles, and getting those stubborn stickers off of cardboard boxes and consoles. So let's start out with the controllers. The controller is the thing that you touch the most often, so it's going to be the dirtiest thing in your whole arsenal. You'd be surprised at how dirty you can get it even if you aren't eating Cheetos every day. I picked the Xbox 360 controller since it's white and you can see the difference the cleaning will make. I always start with the face of the controller, but you can start anywhere. Getting the brush nice and wet and then moving on to the controller is the best method to do. Sure, you can spray the controller down first, but my method reduces the time it'll take for everything to dry. I don't like letting simple green drip into the controller housing, and it's not that big of a deal, but you don't want to plug the controller in with the possibility of it being wet. So the face of the controller is usually the dirtiest. You'll want to scrub vigorously at first to get the solution in every nook and cranny. The buttons are usually sticky with grime, so moving the brush slowly around these buttons will allow the bristles into those crevices. After a bit of scrubbing, I'll wipe the excess off and then repeat the process as necessary. These little areas of indented text are difficult, but just moving the bristles over it in a circular motion and slowing down a bit will help to get the dirt out. After this area is done, you'll move to the rest of the controller applying the same techniques. One of the things that plagues newer style controllers is the seams that your palms rest on. These seams eventually get filled with skin cells and grime that will really make you cringe. To clean that out, you'll want to take a toothpick and move it just across the seam to get all that gunk out. See all that crud? This is why you clean your controllers often. The Xbox controllers seem to be the most nasty when it comes to this, and I'm not sure if it's because of the grip or maybe just because I play Xbox 360 more often than PlayStation. So for controllers with recessed screw holes, you want to take the cotton swab and get it wet with the simple green and then just swab around until it returns no dirt. Sometimes it's dirtier than others and it requires more cotton swabs, but for this one it only used one. So after that's all done, now you have a fresh controller, but you're not done yet if the controller is wired. Let's switch to this PS2 controller so you can see what I'm talking about. The cord does get dirty and it's not too obvious until you clean it. So what you want to do is spray your microfiber cloth and then grip the cable with your hand and just pull all the way down. Be careful not to pull too hard or you'll rip the controller out of its socket. As you move down, you'll see that the grime that's coming off these cords. You can do this with any cord, and it's not necessary, but it feels like your stuff is brand new. So now that the controller is clean, let's move on to the console. The console isn't really that necessary to clean unless you found it at Goodwill, and cleaning won't be as intrusive as the controller. You'll want to follow the same format as the controller cleaning, wet the brush first and then scrub the console. Start with one side, then move along. When you're working on CD consoles like this PS1, you'll want to get inside the disc tray as well. But note that you don't want to get it too wet and you don't want to touch the laser. Usually I clean around with the bristle and just wipe it clean. It shouldn't be too dirty, but dust does get in there. Every console is different, so you want to take your time and clean it. With these techniques, I'm confident that you'll get the hang of it. Now finally, I'm going to show you how to use the heat gun. This is a very advanced tool that we'll use to take stubborn stickers off. You can use Goo Gone, but when stickers are on cardboard, you really want to use the gun. Also, it's much faster on the other material, but you don't want to use it on DVD games like the PS2 because the gun will melt the plastic and there's no going back. So let's take on some stickers. Stickers are pretty stubborn, and depending on the age of the item that they're on, they're likely to take the paint or cardboard along with it. So unless they're on a console or a cartridge, I don't take any chances of peeling them off. It takes about a minute or two for the heat gun to go to max temp, so a heat gun just makes sense just to go for it. So what you want to do is you want to take the heat gun and wave it over the sticker. You don't want to leave it pointed to a particular plastic part too long because it will melt and you will have a disfigured item. Sometimes I just like to take the corner and peel it once the heating has taken place, and then once it starts to get loose, then you can hit underneath the sticker and slowly start pulling it off. It takes some time, but eventually it'll come off cleanly. Cardboard is much more forgiving. You can just blast it until the sticker gets loose, but you want to make sure that the box is empty before starting. You can still melt the styrofoam or plastic that's inside. So that concludes part 2 of my cleaning guide. I hope that this is very informative for you. The techniques, obviously I didn't go over every single console, how to clean it, or every controller, but I feel that I gave you the best starting techniques to go over so that you can apply it to any console or controller that you need. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. If you like this video, I appreciate a thumbs up, and if you're new here, please subscribe. I'm Super Nicktendo, and I'll see you next time.